Ren was a lonely, broke bum, so he decided to turn his house into a hotel for monsters to live in. However, when powerful but hot monster girls start fighting each other for a chance to move in, he decides to ditch the rent and let them all pay with backshots.
Why, Dada, why?
This is business!
It all begins when Ren heads to the city to find a job, but after failing to land one, he decides to take a break and nap in the park. Soon after, a cute girl named Lily, who is way above his league, wakes him up and mentions that she is looking for directions. She hands him a flyer about a house for rent, and Ren is shocked when he realizes that it is his house. Realizing that she is in a tight spot, Ren tells Lily that he can take her to the house. Not long after this, they take a bus and reach the suburbs, which looks dark and gloomy. Ren warns her that there might be danger lurking, and it would be bad for her to wander around in the night. Just then, Ren notices that Lily is struggling with her luggage, and he tries being a cool guy by helping out, but he can't even lift the bag off the ground.
Ha! Gay!
Lily shows him how strong she is when she easily carries the bag on her shoulders, ultimately trashing Ren's fragile ego. As they continue through the alleyway, Lily notices something strange in the atmosphere, and she pushes Ren to the wall, suffocating him with her juicy melons, while telling him to run away. Ren refuses to leave, since he enjoyed the hug a little bit too much. But suddenly, bats start flying toward them. Seeing this, Lily transforms into a werewolf right in front of him, much to his shock. Just then, a hot vampire girl charges toward Lily, resulting in a fierce battle between the two. Lily is getting the edge in the fight, when the vampire girl uses her wings to get the advantage and fly in Ren's direction. Fearing for his safety, Lily manages to reach Ren just in time, and she sends the vampire girl flying with a powerful brick shot. Lily then runs over to make sure that he is safe, and she urges him not to tell anyone about what he witnessed. She wants to leave, but since she's the only woman who has ever touched him besides his mother,
Emotional, damn it!
Ren insists that she come to his house and become a tenant. Shortly afterward, they arrive at the house, and Ren shows her to the comfortable room she will be sleeping in. The next morning, Ren wakes up to Lily screaming like she saw a ghost, only for him to rush in and realize that she is scared of his cat, Raleigh. Not long after this, the atmosphere in the room becomes cold, and before they know it, they are under attack from the vampire girl from the night before. The vampire girl rushes into the house and grabs Ren away from Lily because she thinks Lily has kidnapped him. Before Ren can clear the misunderstanding, the two girls end up fighting and turning the entire place upside down until Ren steps in to scold them. Once they have all settled down, the vampire girl introduces herself as Vivian, a noble in the blood sect. Vivian reveals she is also on a lookout for a house, and she followed the same flyer that Lily found. Ren agrees to allow her to stay in the house, but when it is time for her to pay, she realizes that her money has been stolen, leaving her a broke bum. As she breaks down in tears, Ren feels pity for her and lets her stay anyway. At this, Vivian decides to repay his kindness by making him a delicious meal, and even Lily admits that it tastes really good. Just then, Ren gets a call, and a loud screeching voice from the other side of the phone tells him that she is calling concerning his application to their commerce company. But Ren has no memory of this. Nonetheless, she screams at him, telling him to show up at their office by 2 in the afternoon, and she leaves him with the address. Shortly afterward, he heads to the given location, hoping to turn his useless and worthless life around with a solid job. Arriving at the slums where the said company is, he is told on the phone to touch the telephone pole next to him. After touching the pole, she tells him to look up, and to his surprise, there is a huge building floating in the sky. He unhands the pole, and he flies into the building as it vanishes from sight again. He opens his eyes to see a giant door in front of him, and while still struggling with this, a weird blue humanoid robot appears to lead him to where he is supposed to go. Shortly afterward, he arrives at the office of the mean lady he is talking to on the phone. She welcomes him to their organization called Space, which is short for Special Administration of Sealing Empire. She is Raven, and she wastes no time telling Ren that she is his boss, so he should get used to seeing her ugly face around. She calls him forward and creeps him out by telling him that he has pretty eyes. She offers him a seat, and a chair appears beside him, further adding to the list of weird things he has come across. While he is trying to come to terms with the fact that he is not crazy, she whips out a cup of ramen and starts gulping it like a hungry boar. Ren finally pulls himself together to ask the lady why she invited him to the weird place. Raven mentions that he is there for an interview, but Ren argues against this, since there is no commerce company in sight. Raven then tells him that the commerce company is nothing but a farce. Apparently, Space is an affiliate department, which is tasked with governing all universes. Basically, they are divine beings who are in charge of making sure that everything comes in order. Ren almost has a brain freeze from all the information she is feeding him. She then tells him that he has been selected for something not so serious, which is the job to be her assistant examiner. His job as an examiner to make sure that some scary races don't destroy the world or to plan celestial body evolutions. Ren is absolutely blown by this, but Raven couldn't care less because she is just enjoying her really delicious cup of ramen. Raven tells Ren that he passed the preliminary test because he found the two outcasts. With a snap of her finger, Ren finds himself in a really advanced room where Raven tells him that his job is split into two. The first one is that he needs to take in more tenants, and they are all going to be special outcasts like Lily and Vivian. The second part of his job is to help Raven with any mop-ups that come with stopping rogue beings. Since Ren is entirely confused about the whole thing, he asks Raven exactly what he is supposed to be doing. Raven then mentions that he is required to keep his special tenants out of trouble. Ren then asks Raven what will happen if he refuses to take the job, and she mentions that his memory will be wiped and his new tenants will also be taken away from him. Raven tells him that he is free to choose between a brand new life or to go back to his entirely worthless life. After she is done explaining, they return to her office. Ren then asks if he will be asked to do anything immoral, but she reminds his dull brain that they are meant to maintain world peace. She then adds that he will be paid a really good salary, and this is when Ren finally gets interested in the whole conversation. She presents him with a legal document that contains all the benefits that he is going to enjoy. With the benefits ringing in his head, Ren has no choice but to sign the document. Once he is done signing the document, Raven tells him that he is free to go back home. Ren returns home and shows the contract to his new tenants, but the girls are skeptical about the whole thing that he explained to them. Vivian mentions that the Raven he is talking about sounds more like a fraud rather than a divine being. However, she knows that Raven is not affiliated with the demon hunters since she asked Ren to take care of them. Vivian starts thinking the job might not be a bad one because they are the beneficiaries of it. Vivian then reveals that she stepped outside in the afternoon to make sure that she was not tracked down by the demon hunters, but Ren urges her to stop flying around in the afternoon. Vivian still uses the opportunity to taunt Lily, saying the hunters are sharper than her dull instincts. The two almost have a go at each other, but Ren calms them down. He then asks Vivian about the demon hunters, and she explains that they are hybrid monsters with half-human blood. Apparently, they have been at war with beings like herself since old times, but there has been no definite winner. After hearing Vivian's story, Ren turns to Lily, asking her if she knows about the demon hunters too. She confesses that she has not had a run-in with them, but has only seen them on television. This confession only gives Vivian more ground to call Lily dumb because she lacks the most basic survival skills. Lily tries to defend herself by saying she has been living with humans all her life, which is why she knows nothing about the demon hunters. Realizing that Ren might be in danger, Vivian offers to leave to lure the demon hunters away, but she adds that she is going to be taking the upgraded dumb dog with her. Later on, Ren is enjoying a good nap when he suddenly finds himself in a strange realm. He walks around aimlessly until he finds himself being targeted by some nasty wolves. He falls to the ground, and just as he is about to get eaten, he wakes up to the sound of Lily's voice. Ren believes that it was nothing but a dream, but he suddenly realizes that he is holding on to a fur. Vivian checks it out and mentions that there is no demonic energy coming from it, and when Lily tries her sense of smell, she gets nothing too. Realizing that Ren might be in danger, Vivian tries to use her blood magic on Ren with a sleeping side effect, but she accidentally hits Lily with a spell instead, causing her to sleep off like a log of wood. Just then, Ren gets a call from Raven, telling him to report to the office the following day because there is an urgent task for him. The next day, Ren heads to the floating castle to adhere to Raven's call, but getting to the entrance, he finds no one. He is thinking of leaving when Raven shows up in some really funny outfit, while carrying a sword bigger than Ren's little body. Raven claims that the melon complementing outfit is her gardening outfit, and she was pruning some stubborn trees. After this, Vivian changes, and they head to her office, where she tells Ren that she has a special data terminal to give to him. Apparently, it's a special device meant for examiners only. Vivian places the terminal on the table, and when he asks how to use it, she tells him to control it with his mind, and it will automatically react to his instructions. Raven then teases him, telling him that he has signed up for the toughest work because there is no rest or death for him. Ren is tired of hearing her blabber, and he asks her about the mission she claims she has for him. Before telling him the mission, she takes him to the enhancement room, where every examiner must undergo an enhancement procedure. Vivian calls it a simple procedure, but goes ahead to whip out Dracula's bedtime space out of nowhere. This scares the life out of Ren, but Raven kicks him into the coffin before he can argue. Raven activates the necessary buttons, and a lightning effect hits the coffin, making it spin uncontrollably. Ren screams from inside, but suddenly vanishes, shocking Raven, who thinks she might have pressed the wrong buttons. Momentarily, Ren finds himself in the same realm where he was previously attacked by the wolves. The terminal flies out of his pocket, finally introducing itself to Ren with its annoying voice. The terminal mentions that he is his assistant, and Ren asks it if it can provide him with a blanket before he dies of cold. The terminal angrily tells him that he is just an upgraded Google Map, not some magician. The only thing it can offer is guidance, and Ren asks it where they are. Terminal then explains that they are in the dream dimension, which is a parallel space to the real world. Ren believes that it is a regular virtual world, but Terminal quickly warns him, telling him that death in the dream space automatically means death in the real world. Ren almost loses his mind when he realizes that he has been given a fatal test. Momentarily, Ren finds himself surrounded by wolves again, and Terminal wastes no time chickening out to return to Ren's pocket. One of the wolves charges at Ren, but instead of getting his arm bit off, a weird shield appears to protect his arm. Ren is confused about what just happened, and Terminal explains that he managed to get the rigid shield because of the enhancement process that he went through. Terminal assures him that the shield will automatically activate once he is attacked. The wolves realize that they can't take Ren down, and they immediately start calling out to their pack leader. Ren is trying to escape through the grass when he is knocked down by the enormous pack leader, almost the size of a car. He is about to have his head torn off, but the shield comes in clutch again, saving him just in time. The wolf leader, on the other hand, injures its teeth, but things get even weirder when the wolf talks to Ren, using a human voice. The wolf leader demands to know who Ren is and why he has come to the dimension, with death staring him in the face. Ren quickly mentions that he is just a traveler, but the wolf doesn't believe a word he says because the dimension is not ideal for humans. Nonetheless, the wolf tells Ren that he is going to be a good meal for the kids. Even though its teeth are hurt, it still believes that the pack members should be able to take Ren down so the kids can feed on him. Realizing that he is about to die, Ren swings into his negotiation mode, telling the pack leader that he is going to get him to a dentist if he can help him find the nearest human settlement. Prioritizing his teeth over the care for his kids, the pack leader carries Ren on his back and runs straight for the nearest human settlement. The pack leader complains that humans are trash because they basically ruin everything they touch. It then dawns on Ren that humans are the same everywhere, whether it's the dream space or not. Soon afterward, they arrive at a hut, and the wolf leader returns to his pack, while Ren promises to find him the promised dentist. Ren steps into the hut and orders Terminal to turn on the flashlight, but this vexes Terminal, who tells Ren that it is not a freaking home tool device. Just then, Ren spots a familiar item sticking out on the floor, but before he can figure out what it is, the hut starts glowing like it's Christmas. A sudden gush of wind follows, but before anything happens, Ren grabs the item. Meanwhile, Lily is tending to a dog when she accidentally runs into a weird dude, but surprisingly, the dude is strong enough to withstand her push. Lily returns home to find Vivian playing around with a vacuum cleaner as if it's man's greatest invention. Lily tries to mock her, but she gets the last laugh by showing Lily a dog cage she found for her. Lily was the instigator, but she ended up suffering the biggest backlash from the mean Vivian. On the other hand, Ren returns to the space office. While Raven is busy enjoying a cup of ramen, with no care in the world, Raven asks him how he feels, and he confesses that the shield helped him out in the dream space where she sent him to die. However, he complains that the only thing he got is the rigid shield, and Raven lets him know that the other enhancement perks will surface with time. Raven assures him that she already gave him extraordinary skills, but it will take time for his body to adjust to them. He asks about the dream space, and she explains that it is a parallel world that humans can't interact with or get to without certain special methods. Later on, Ren shows Raven the wolf hair that he brought back from the dream space as a souvenir. He also mentions that he found a familiar metal sheet, but to his surprise, it is no longer on him. After their boring little talk, Raven pushes him out of the building before telling him that she is sending him on a trip to Europe. Apparently, he is going there to retrieve a new tenant, and all the bills have been paid for. In addition, Raven orders him to take Lily and Vivian with him when going on the trip because they might come in handy. She throws him the plane tickets and then sends him on his way. After Ren is gone, Raven tries to interact with the wolf fur, but it disappears, and she starts to worry if things are leaking into their world from the parallel world. The next day, Ren and his girls get on a plane heading to England to find their new tenant. Vivian is blown away by how planes can fly so high in the sky. Ren then reminds her that she can also fly, but she clears the air, saying she can't fly as high as planes. Ren is confused, as she has not been discovered by humans since she is flying very low, and Vivian explains that her blinding speed makes it hard for humans to see her. Lily joins the conversation, taking a dig at Vivian for not having a flight experience on a plane. Vivian tries to defend herself by saying she is not broke bad enough not to afford a plane ticket. She claims that she just enjoys flying using her wings, but Lily can see through her broke lying face. Ren, on the other hand, is complaining about how mean Raven is to have gotten them economy tickets instead of business class. Lily cuts in, saying she has taken the most expensive plane, but in the end, Vivian and Ren find out that she only hung on to the back of the plane. Soon afterward, they arrive in London, but it becomes difficult for them to find their hotel. Lily wants them to call a taxi, but Ren mentions that they are just too broke to avoid a taxi. Since they are looking for directions, Vivian offers to speak to a native, claiming that her English is quite good because she once lived in England. However, things turn out horribly because they all think she is just a parrot spewing trash. Ren then asks her the last time she lived in England, and she replies that it has been centuries. Ren cannot believe that she is too dull to know that pronunciations have changed over time. Vivian then uses all of her little dead vampire brain cells to think of an idea. She takes the hotel card and urges Lily to track the smell with her super sensitive nose. Lily is initially uninterested, but Ren knows what makes her tick by suggesting that the food at the hotel is the best. Lily immediately becomes active, and she drags them to the hotel. The team is blown away by just how nice the hotel room is, and Lily is the first to order room service. Lily doesn't care how much she eats, even though the bill is ultimately compounding. Vivian, on the other hand, lies on the comfy bed that is not her coffin to enjoy a good sleep for once in her lifetime of misery. While the two are having the best time of their lives, Ren is busy freaking out, and when he can't take it any longer, he screams at them to zip it. The girls later apologize for disturbing him, and he accepts the apology, saying they need to resume their mission to find the new tenant. He whips out Terminal, telling it to help read the map he has, but Terminal claims that it can't, since it has not been updated to the latest version. Just then, Ren gets a call from Raven at just the right time, and she promises to help update Terminal's software. Once Terminal is running on the latest upgrade, it tells Ren that it can now help translate other languages. However, Terminal mentions that there is a slight punishment if he curses Raven or says trashy things about her. The warning comes in too late because Ren just finished trash-talking her, and he gets zapped into oblivion. After Ren has been dealt his punishment, Lily tries communicating with Terminal in wolf language, and surprisingly, it is able to deduce what she is talking about. Just as expected, the only word she knows in the wolf language still relates to food. The trio then heads to the dining room to eat, but while they are eating, one of Vivian's summons patrolling the area runs into something suspicious. Vivian becomes worried, and she suggests that they head back to their room. They are debating this when an obviously suspicious, ugly Four Eyes shows up and introduces himself as Nangong. He asks to sit with them, and Ren agrees. Ren then asks him if he knows where Yorkford is, and he says yes. Coincidentally, he is also heading to Yorkford. Nangong asks them why they are heading to Yorkford, and every member on the team says some trash things to counter each other. Nangong then urges them to be careful if their destination is truly Yorkford Castle, because there are ghosts there. Later that night, Vivian walks up to Ren, while he is chilling on the balcony, to tell him that she senses the presence of a demon hunter in the hotel. Vivian mentions that one of her summons caught on to this, but Ren is not worried, since Lily didn't sense anything. Vivian argues that Lily is too dumb to notice anything that is not food. Ren suggests that they track down the demon hunter, and Vivian tells Ren that she suspects Nangong to be the demon hunter. The two are talking about this when they suddenly hear Nangong talking to them from his room balcony, claiming he is the demon hunter, and they don't need to look any further. Vivian laughs out loud when she hears this because she doesn't believe someone as dumb as Nangong can be a demon hunter. Her laugh immediately fades when Nangong appears right on their balcony like it's nothing. However, his clumsiness almost makes him fall off, but Ren manages to grab him just in time. Nangong then follows them to their room to make a proper acquaintance with the trio. Nangong convinces Vivian that he is the demon hunter by showing her his incantation that her summon ran into. Nangong then assumes that all of them are superhumans, but Ren corrects him, saying he is a regular human. Nangong refuses to believe it, since he knows about demon hunters and the Yorkford Castle. Nonetheless, he suggests that they all head to the castle together the next day. Nangong then leaves, saying he has something he needs to do, but he will see them very early the next day. After he is gone, Ren asks Vivian why she accepted Nangong's offer easily, and she reveals that it is her own way of keeping an eye on him. In addition, she fears that their new tenant might be Nangong's target. The next morning, they get on a train heading to Yorkford, and while heading there, the news about the ghost attack comes on the television. The reporter interviews the first witness, Angus, on the scene to explain what he saw. Angus explains some really boring stuff, and the reporter mentions that there is a reward for whoever is able to solve the supposed ghost problem. Vivian immediately becomes interested because of the money, but Ren reminds her that they are on the mission because of their new tenant. Moments later, three weird fellows, who claim that they are ghost hunters, walk past the team. After getting off the train, they head to an inn, and to their surprise, Angus is the innkeeper. Angus initially tells them that there is no more room in the inn, but after begging him, he tells them that he is going to try his best to get them rooms. However, he says this in the creepiest and weirdest way possible, as if he were a predator. Momentarily, Angus prepared 2 rooms for them. The boys share one, and the girls do the same, but Lily is already asleep. Angus asks Nangong if he plans to go to the castle because of the ghost problems. Ren tries to stop him from talking, but Nangong is a running radio, and he starts yapping about how he is a professional demon hunter from China, who is in town to eradicate all evil. Angus is excited to have a demon hunter in the inn, and Nangong asks him for more details on the ghost. Meanwhile, Vivian is struggling to get the freaking glutton, Lily, off her body because she is trying to turn her into food. Angus excitedly sits down to tell the two an interesting story about the Yorkford Castle. Apparently, it was named Yorkford Castle a long time ago, but most don't know it by this name anymore. When asked why this is so, Angus says people have been warned to stay away from the castle because a rebellion took place in the castle, which led to it being deserted. Apparently, soldiers were trapped in the underground tunnels, and it was the soldiers who became ghosts. The ghosts in anger hunt down treasure hunters. It turns out that the castle is filled with treasures, but at the same time, traps are everywhere to protect the said treasures. Angus reveals that the lord of the castle had 3 sons, but after he died, the eldest son inherited all of the treasures, forcing the other 2 dumbheads to come together to form a rebellion against their big brother. The battle between the brothers escalated to the city, but in the end, all 3 brothers died in the castle. Apparently, people are warned to stay away because of the brothers' ghosts residing in the castle. After he is done hearing the story, Ren heads to the girl's room to tell Vivian about it, since Lily is still sleeping like a log of wood. Vivian then mentions that she actually sent her bats to survey the castle, and with the report she got, there is the possibility that there are ghosts in the castle. Ren immediately gets scared, but Vivian urges him to calm down, saying the ghosts might have nothing to do with the ghost events. Ren asks her why she is convinced about this, and she says the ghost presence she felt is suppressed underground, and since the ghost event happened above ground, the underground ghosts are most likely not involved. When Ren returns to his room, he finds Nangong staring at a photo, which he claims is very important to him. Apparently, the picture in the frame is that of her sister, even though the sister's face cannot be seen. Ren wants to know more, and Nandong immediately slips into his sleeping bag, which is more or less a creepy, torn body bag. Ren asks him why he is sleeping in a body bag, and Nandong claims that it keeps the bugs away, even though it is almost torn apart. Ren then asks him why he is not working with his sister, since she appears to be a strong demon hunter too. Nandong refutes this, saying his sister is a regular girl, and he only became a demon hunter to protect her. In addition, he doesn't even know where his said sister is. While the team is sleeping and snoring, Angus is running a profitable side hustle to transport the 3 ghost hunters to the castle. However, Nandong catches wind of this, since he is not asleep. Shortly afterward, Vivian shows up in Ren's room to tell him about the weird things happening in the inn. She lets him know that the innkeeper, Nandong, and the 3 weirdos from the train have disappeared. Vivian suggests that they track them all down to know what they are up to. Ren agrees with her, and he asks after Lily. They return to the girl's room to find Lily still sleeping like a sheep. Vivian punches her into the wall, but this is just not enough to get the sleep out of her eyes. On the other hand, Angus is telling the trio to stay away from the church close to the castle, because they might run into scary things. Just then, Nandong lands on the car, but a snake crawls out of one of the ghost hunter's pouches and heads to the top of the car. The snake is disgusted by Nandong's face, and almost sends him to the afterlife because of his ugly face. Meanwhile, Vivian is flying in the air and she is tracking the car, while she is also carrying Ren. Lily, on the other hand, is running on all 4s even though she is still sleeping. Ren is surprised that he is able to see how Lily is running, but then it dawns on him that the enhancement procedure must be the reason for it. Suddenly, Lily runs into a rock while she is moving at high speed. This is enough to get her out of the terrible sleeping state that she is stuck in. Ren and Vivian fly down to check on her, and she suddenly falls into a hole created by the running impact. Ren is shocked to see this, but Vivian smiles, saying they have just found a shortcut to the castle, all thanks to the sleepyhead Lily. The team enters the tunnel and barely makes it out from the other side, thanks to the constant argument between Lily and Vivian. As they are about to step into the castle grounds, Vivian warns her teammates, telling them to be careful because they will never know what is waiting for them. They sneak around until they find the 3 weirdos in the distance. Surprisingly, there are other ghost hunters present there too. Since they need information about the new tenant, Ren reaches out to Terminal, but just as always, Terminal proves to be totally useless, as it tells them to conduct their own research. Ren tries to force Terminal to help, but the annoying machine just activates sleep mode, and it sleeps off. As the trio walks around the castle ruins, they spot Nandong making his move in the distance. The trio looks around and finds a church. Ren suggests that they enter the church, and after apologizing to Terminal, it tells them to proceed. They are about to enter when they notice that ghost hunters are closing in on them. Lily and Vivian then swing into action to scare off the ghost hunters by making really scary faces and creepy noises. After the ghost hunters are gone, Lily grabs the boulder covering the church entrance and flips it away like it's paper. Upon entering, Lily mentions that she can perceive human smell aside from Ren's scent in the area. They spot a footprint, and Ren concludes that someone has gone ahead of them. Just then, they find a weird writing on a stone plate, and after removing the stone plate, they find a pulley underneath. Lily pulls it and creates a path that leads underground. Terminal finally decides to be a good machine by telling Ren that the new tenant is right where they are headed. Ren is glad to hear this, since he is finally adding another tenant to his collection. But Vivian is worried that Nandong has disappeared. As they walk through the dark tunnels, Ren urges Terminal to become brighter so that they can see where they are going. But this pisses it off again, reminding Ren that he is not meant to be a freaking flashlight, even though he is technically a wayfinder. They soon find themselves in a large storage room that calls their attention to the fact that the ghost stories might actually be true. On the outside, Nangong's senses lead him to a large boulder covering the underground entrance. Using his paper spell, he is able to get the boulder out of the way. He nearly gets crushed while entering the hole, but he has Mother Luck on his side. Ren and his tenants are resting when they suddenly hear something in the distance, and this catches their attention, hoping that it would be the new tenant. The trio continues down the lonely path, waiting to see when they are finally going to meet their new tenant. Not long after, they spot Angus in the distance, and his presence in the tunnel is nothing but suspicious. To avoid detection, Vivian uses her vampire skills to conceal their presence. Vivian suggests that they get close to Angus, but Ren doesn't think there is any for this, since he sees Angus as a regular dude. Vivian opens his eyes to the fact that Angus is definitely hiding something because he is carrying equipment with him. The team then walks up to him and starts scaring him. Out of fear, Angus starts to confess that he only fabricated ghost stories to attract tourists. Since his business is not doing well, Lily is disappointed that Angus is trying to make money off dead people, but Ren reminds her that she was ready to get a prize for defeating the ghosts too. Realizing that the concealment spell is about to wear off, Ren then tells Angus to run off, and he wastes no time, accepting the offer. Lily then calls their attention to the letters written on the walls. Vivian mentions that they are runes mostly used by demon hunters. To Ren, all he can see are some really ugly letters on the wall, and before he suffers a brain freeze from overstaring, he asks Vivian to translate the writing. Vivian then reads out the runes, which translate to "This place seals all the evil above, and no evil can ever penetrate." She continues reading, and after she is done, Ren figures out that there is something sinister in the tunnels. Vivian agrees with him, saying the lord of the castle must have been a demon hunter who made his way into society. Vivian then walks up to the wall and touches it, only for it to react to her magical power. This activates the trap in the tunnel, and arrows start flying at them. However, Ren is able to protect them, using the rigid shield. They make a run for it till they reach the end of the tunnel, and Ren tells Lily to break down the door. On the other hand, Nangong is still crawling through tight spaces, trying to find a way out. A rat walks all over him, and he almost barbecues himself in an attempt to get rid of the rat. Ren and his girls finally make it to a safe area, but just when they are about to start resting, a boulder rolls their way, forcing them to stay very close to the wall to avoid getting crushed into spaghetti. However, Lily's dog instinct kicks in, and she starts chasing down the boulder as if she is playing fetch. Vivian and Ren are forced to chase after her, and suddenly, the ground opens and she falls in. Vivian immediately turns into her vampire form to grab her before she reaches the ground and splatters. At the same time, Nangong has reached the same place where they almost got impaled by arrows. The gullible Nangong touches the rune just like Vivian, and the arrows come rushing at him, ready to turn him into a basket. Vivian gently places Lily on the ground, but Ren comes crashing down on them. Just then, they look up to realize that they have just found themselves in a room filled with treasures. Vivian and Lily get carried away, and just as they are about to start rushing for the treasures and food, Ren stops them, urging them to think twice. They conquer their greediness, and to their surprise, it was all an illusion. Vivian believes that the fog that they passed through has some really insane hallucination spell tied to it, but the question of why Ren is not affected remains. The trio then continues their exploration of the dungeon, while wondering exactly when they are supposed to reach the end. Ren is already getting worried about the whole thing, and he wishes that they could find the tenant fast enough so that they could leave. Vivian then mentions that everything seems weird, and with the writings on the wall, she suspects that their target is the one imprisoned in the dungeon. Suddenly, the walls start to move closer to them in an attempt to crush them. Vivian and Lily try using their powers, but the runes have ripped them of it. The girls start to freak out, but Ren is the only one who stays calm, telling them that there will definitely be a way out. Just then, Ren grabs the walls, trying to act like Samson. Surprisingly, the walls stop moving, and the girls get their powers back. Ren immediately suggests that they get out of there before the walls start to move again. Meanwhile, Nangong is still following the same path that the trio followed, and in the end, he crashes into a pond below. Ren and the girls are resting when knights emerge from the ground and start chasing them like tax collectors. Lily and Vivian decide to fight back, and the two are able to suppress the annoying knights. However, Vivian lets Ren know that they can't relax yet because they have not encountered the main force of the knights. Vivian then notices that the writings on the sword point to a magic stone, and the ghosts are not prisoners, but they are securing something. Ren doesn't know about magic stones, and Vivian explains to him that they can be used to summon demons. Vivian explains better, saying the ghosts are there to make sure that the seal is not removed. Lily suggests that they destroy the stone, but Vivian says this is not an easy task. Ren is calm because he believes that they have nothing to worry about as long as they don't summon a demon with the stone. However, Vivian lets him know that an aggressive demon will find a way to break out even without being summoned. Ren then suggests that they stay away from the stone, but suddenly, they realize that it is hanging right above their heads. Vivian calms Ren down, telling him that they have nothing to worry about as long as an external force doesn't act on the stone. It is at this moment that Nangong hits the wall from the outside with his power, and it causes one of the chains holding the stone to break. This in turn summons a bulk load of knights, and the trio finds themselves surrounded by undead knights that are ready to bathe in their blood. Just when the knights are about to converge on them, the frontliners are struck with arrows. The archer is none other than Nandong, who aura farms as he lowers himself into the dungeon. He confidently tells the trio to leave the undead knights to him. He tries to act cool by flying toward the stone, but he ends up falling and crashing to the ground like a rotten orange. The four are having too much fun until they remember that they still have undead knights to deal with. Surprisingly, Nangong hits them with a certain powder that renders them immobile. Once they are restrained, Nangong starts cutting them down with ease. However, Ren and the girls are still surrounded, and Vivian assures him that the knights are nothing compared to her powers. She prepares to use her ultimate power, but tells Ren and Lily to make sure that they protect her while she is activating her power. Lily goes on the offense, taking down the undead knights, while Ren stays close to Vivian to protect her with the rigid shield. Just when Lily is about to get tired, Vivian's power finally becomes ready. She leaps into the air and unleashes her red blood power. The team is excited to see her amazing power, but before it can do anything to hurt the undead knights, the stone absorbs the power. This turns out to be a really bad sign as the stone starts to crack. The team watches in horror as a red light shoots into the sky, and what follows is some scary level of destruction. Not long after this, a scary dude with flames all over his body emerges from the stone. During the entire chaos, Nangong hit his head and passed out. Lily is initially intrigued by the presence of the fiery dude, but the moment he unleashes his overwhelming aura, the team starts relieving their bowels. Suddenly, the fiery dude moves closer to them, and he grabs Ren and Nangong off the ground. Without saying anything, the dude flies away with the boys, but the girls follow him. Momentarily, he comes to a halt, and Vivian challenges him, asking him how he is able to fly faster than her, even though he has no wings. Just then, the dude drops Ren, leaving him in a state of panic. Vivian then walks over to him, telling him not to be scared because she is there. She claims that demons and vampires have almost an equal amount of strength. She demonstrates her immense strength by unleashing her aura, which in turn unleashes a red moon in the sky. Vivian boasts about how her powers were able to take down Poseidon. Vivian is about to attack the demon dude when he suddenly speaks, asking Ray if he is his landlord. Ren and the girls are shocked to see this, but Terminal finally decides to show its useless face, telling the team that they have completed their mission because standing in front of them is the new tenant. The dude then introduces himself as Zack, telling Ren just how glad he is to finally meet him. Vivian assumes that Zack is making a mistake, but Terminal emerges, pointing out the bright signal that is emanating from Zack's body. Zack grabs Nangong, saying he was the one who woke him up. He starts spinning Nangong like he is some cheap metal plate until the dude flies off like a ball. Zack then asks Ren if there is a signed contract that he needs to undertake to properly be bound with him. Vivian doesn't want him to sign the contract, but Terminal lets them know that the entire purpose of the mission is to sign a contract with Zack. Once they are in agreement, Ren reminds Zack about the undead guards at the castle. Zack assures him that he has it covered, and with just one energy blast from his finger, Zack turns the castle to dust. Everyone is crippled with fear at the amount of power that the dude wields, and this includes Terminal, who starts saying Zack is the most handsome man on the planet. On the other hand, Vivian remains skeptical about Zack, but the moment he praises her, she totally forgets about her doubts. Momentarily, they hear some people walking toward them, and Ren suggests that Zack change into his human form. Zack wastes no time doing this, but his human appearance doesn't look more of a difference, since he retains his scary face. Later on, Ren gives Raven the report on the newly acquired tenant. He complains that Zack is too crude, and he is always trying to solve all of his problems by shooting an energy blast at it. During a conversation with Zack, he reveals that he just arrived on the planet a month ago. Apparently, he wasn't sealed in the magic stone because it's a portal. To make things more scary, Zack happens to be a demon boss in his world. However, he suffered a massive loss at the hands of his enemies and almost died too. In the process of almost getting his life snuffed out, he was saved by an examiner. Raven urges Ren to take care of Zack because he is the first outcast to be taken in by the senior examiner. Ren follows Raven's instruction, and he makes sure that Zack has everything he needs to be comfortable. Zack also gets along well with the girls in the house without any struggle. Later on, Vivian is cleaning the house when she finds the metal plate that Ren once saw in the dream dimension, which he thought he had already lost. In addition to this, he also found a note, which he claims he found in the dream dimension years back. This reminds him of the wolf leader, and he hopes that he is doing fine. Vivian then tells him that there is some sort of connection between him and the dream space because there must have been a reason he was able to visit there as a kid. Coincidentally, the metal plate and the note have the same words written on them, which translates to the source of power. Awaken again and open the gate. They are in the middle of trying to deduce this when Ren gets a call that Zach has been arrested. Ren is forced to abandon what they are doing and head to the station to try and bail him out. Soon afterward, Ren gets a call from Raven telling him to come to the office. On his way to her office, he sees a girl playing the guitar, and even though he wanted to donate, he didn't have his wallet with him. At her office, she tells him that there is a new tenant who is coming in, but accidentally got thrown to another Earth, and Ren needs to travel there to fetch them back. Ren complains about getting sent to space when he is just coming back from England, but Raven screams at him, telling him that he has no choice, since it's his job. Ren then asks her how he is supposed to travel interplanetary, and Raven snaps her finger, showing him the Cooper space station. She lets him know that she is going to upgrade his terminal later so he can get there. Since the target planet is mostly covered in ocean, Raven tells him that she has already prepared a sea expert for him. Just then, the said sea expert enters the room, and it turns out to be the guitar girl. She looks at him scornfully, calling him a stingy goat. Just then, Raven drops another bombshell, revealing that the girl is also Ren's new tenant. Ren returns home to introduce the girl, Wayu, to the rest of the lads at home. They all welcome Wayu with a warm heart, while telling her their funny and dumb nicknames. Apparently, Wayu is a Siren, and they are a very old race among the outcasts. They are native to the sea, and because of this, they are rarely seen by humans. Surprisingly, they are a race with only females, and they only reproduce through secret ceremonies. After the introductions are over, Vivian offers to cook Wayu a really nice meal to welcome her. Just as usual, Vivian and Lily start arguing with each other, and this provides some level of entertainment for Wayu, who mentions that the house is pretty interesting. Momentarily, Ren tells the tenants that he is leaving to bring in another tenant, but he can only take 2 people with him. He is automatically taking Wayu, meaning he has just 1 more spot for 1 more person. They'd all start raising their hands to get picked, but in the end, Ren goes for Zach, since he is the only one who has been on a spaceship before. Lily is pissed that she didn't get picked, and she starts throwing tantrums until a stomachache puts her in the perfect arching position to get some sausage. During the night, Wayu catches Ren walking around because he couldn't sleep. The two have a short conversation, and Ren asks her why she was traveling around all year. She simply replies that it is a secret known to her alone. The next morning, Ren, Wayu, and Zach stand on the balcony of the house, and Terminal activates the coordinates to the space station, ultimately sending them in a flash. In no time, they arrive at Kuiper Station, and they are welcomed by the station guide, a nice lady. Terminal informs Ren that the beautiful lady is an alien, leaving Ren in surprise because he thought aliens should be ugly-looking creatures. Wayu jumps up to test the gravity, and she realizes that it is no different from Earth's. The station guide reveals that everything inside the spaceship has been manipulated to be like Earth. Ren then asks the guide why the station seems empty, since he thought it would be buzzing with people. She mentions that the station is basically a node for transportation, which is why people don't stay long. The station guide informs him that she is leading him to the station guide reserved for him, and the crew members might just fit into the type of aliens that he is hoping to see. Upon arriving at the docking station, Ren is blown away because the station guide's claims are completely true. Ren sees the usual type of aliens, but Terminal drags him to the ship to prevent them from taking off late. Terminal mentions that they will be taking a civilian craft, but another craft will be waiting to pick them up. Just then, a hologram pops up showing the captain of the ship, who informs them that they are about to take on a journey, which is about 200 billion light years. Ren asks him how long the journey is going to be, and he boasts about his long sausage skills before taking into account that the ship is also fast. He mentions that all the factors combined will help them get to their destination in less than 24 hours, give or take. After he is done boasting, he kickstarts the ship and heads straight for their destination. Back on Earth, Vivian and Lily are having their usual ladies' rivalry. Ren and his colleagues are having a nice trip until the captain spots another ship in the distance, and he decides to race the ship just because he is a petty dude. Ren tries to tell the captain that it is time for them to jump ships, but the captain doesn't care. Ren wants to try jumping ship himself, but Terminal warns him that things are going to be very bad for them if they miss the node. Terminal then leads them to the ship, but just as he is about to take control of the ship, he notices that the latch door is locked. Zach steps up to open the door with his strength, and combined with his demon form, he is able to get this done. The ship launches, and Zach jumps on it. The ship heads directly for the target location, but loses its propeller upon entering the atmosphere. The ship crashes into the water, but while Ren is already dreaming of death, Wayu transforms into her Siren form to save him, and all he sees is a stunning fish lady. When Ren finally opens his eyes, he finds himself in the dream space, but Terminal assures him that he has nothing to worry about because he has been saved by Wayu. In addition, he has told those on the other side that he is alive. Ren is surprised to see that Terminal can operate in 2 ways, and Terminal wastes no time riding away to talk about how cool he is. Just then, Ren notices that the wolves from before are under attack, but he quickly jumps in to save them. The wolf wants to tear his head off for not bringing them a dentist, but he lets it pass because he just saved them. Ren then whips out the metal plate with him. asking the wolf leader if he knows the writings on it. The wolf leader mentions that the writings are ancient writings, but before he can explain things further, Ren returns to the normal world. Zack mentions that they had to wake him with a lightning zap. Terminal then shows them the possible locations of the tenant that they are searching for. After they are done arguing like parrots, they finally pick the location that they want to head to. Back on Earth, Vivian prepares the dish as usual, and she packs it with garlic even though she is a freaking vampire. Instead of Vivian getting affected by the garlic, Lily gets affected instead, and she loses her senses, but Vivian manages to subdue her. Ren and his team finally make it to the crash site of the Tenant's ship. Ren is blown away by the damage caused by the aircraft's crash. Ren mentions that it would have made the headlines for months. Assuming it landed on Earth, Zack then walks over to the ship to check if the Tenant is still alive. Zack pushes open the door, but finds no one inside. He is not satisfied with this, and he goes Hulk mode, taking the entire ship apart just to make sure that the Tenant is not hiding in between some of the parts. After he is done tearing the ship apart and getting nothing, Terminal finally decides to talk, and it reveals that the part of the aircraft that they found is not the cargo area. Ren is shocked to hear this, and he demands to know why the Tenant was stored in the cargo area. Terminal mentions that it has no idea why, but it appears that the cargo area of the ship is the strongest area on the ship. With this, Terminal is confident that the Tenant has a higher chance of surviving. After hearing this, Ren suggests that they head to the other crash site, and surprisingly, it is inside the sea. Without wasting time, Wyatt jumps into the sea to investigate the wreckage, which is 5,000 meters deep in the water. Before diving into the water, she throws her clothes to Ren for safekeeping, and this sends a wave of wild thoughts through his little dumb head. Just then, Terminal suggests that Ren follow Wyatt to the wreck site, since he is the examiner and he has to be there. Before they even conclude, Zack grabs Ren and throws him in the water. Wyatt grabs him just as he is about to drown, and Ren suddenly realizes that he can actually breathe underwater, thanks to Wyatt's power. Wyatt explains that she is controlling the water around them, which is why he is able to breathe and also withstand the pressure. Ren is blown away at just how impressive the outcasts are. Momentarily, a scary shark appears in front of them and charges toward them at great speed. Realizing the incoming danger, Wyatt transforms into one of her scary forms, an octopus. The moment the shark sees this, it speeds off without even turning back. Ren is surprised. Wei lets him know that she can transform into basically anything. Not long after this, they find the cargo part of the ship, and Terminal conducts a quick scan. The Terminal reveals that the cargo is damaged on the outside, but the interior appears to be intact. To get a good look at the cargo, Wyatt uses her power to create a pocket of dry area around the cargo container. Ren is able to freely enter without, but when Wyatt tries it, she keeps falling, thanks to her fish legs. Ren scolds her, asking why she is not transforming back to her human form. She then reminds Ren that she already dumped her clothes before they came into the water, which means she is putting on nothing. The Terminal then opens the cargo, but Ren is met with disappointment when he enters because there is no sign of anyone in the cargo space. Ren then suggests that they contact Raven to ask her. While they are talking to Raven, Wyatt has found a smaller box inside the container that houses baby products. Ren tells Raven that they can't find the Tenant, but she says this is impossible. She asks to see inside the cargo, and Ren shows her. She then points out that Wyatt is already with the Tenant. It turns out that the egg that Wyatt is playing with is the Tenant. The egg suddenly drops, almost sending the trio to their ancestors. But luckily, the egg doesn't break. Raven then tells Ren to meet her on a vast land in an hour so that they can discuss the next arrangements. Ren and Wyatt soon return to land to join Zack. Together, they wait for Raven's arrival. Raven soon arrives in her big ship, and while she is aura farming with her landing, she ends up burying the two in sand. She then welcomes them aboard the ship as if she had not just tried to end their miserable lives. Ren immediately calms down when he learns that the ship is his. Ren is utterly blown away because he never expected to have gotten such a marvelous gift. Ren asks about the ship's name, and Raven tells him that it is called the Hybrid Turtle, which is a dumb name, but it sounds amazing to our gullible main character. Out of nowhere, Raven drops a bombshell, saying the egg that they just rescued is the egg of a mermaid, and she is the last of her kind after her universe was wiped out. She mentions that she shares some similarities with Wyatt, who is a Siren. Once they are ready to leave, Ren leaves the launching of the ship to the Terminal, since he has nothing in his dry head about flying a ship. Momentarily, the team returns home, all thanks to Terminal's great pilot skills. Upon entering the house, Ren is surprised to find Lily in a wild state, and Vivian urges him to be careful because she has been acting like a crazy witch since the night before. Zack manages to hold her down, and Ren suggests that Terminal teleport them to the ship. Terminal replies that it might not be able to pull it off, since Lily is in an unstable state. Zack then uses his power to teleport them to Raven's office, while she is busy enjoying her cup of ramen. Just as they arrive there, Lily is already grabbing onto Raven's leg as if it were food. Raven then takes control, and she grabs Lily's head to use her psychological powers on her to suppress her rabid side. Lily falls asleep, and once she is fast asleep. Raven explains to the team that Raven is simply undergoing an evolutionary process. However, before evolution, she would have to completely turn into a wolf. Raven mentions that she must have reacted to something of late, which is what triggered the evolution process. This is when Ren remembers that Lily must have been reacting to the Scarlet Moon that Vivian created at the castle. Raven then tells Ren to take Lily to the enhancement center to stabilize her. As they leave, Raven asks Zach and Wai how they are adjusting to life, and the two mention that they are doing just fine. Later on, Lily wakes up in the enhancement center, and she has no memory of what happened while she was trying to turn everyone into her favorite dish. Literally seconds after she wakes up, Lily and Vivian resume their usual love-hate beef. Ren tells Lily to calm down because Vivian has been worried about her since she passed, but Vivian denies this to maintain her unfiltered aura. Shortly afterward, Raven tells Ren that he has to submit a report on his new tenants, and this immediately makes him start regretting all of his life decisions, since he wasn't expecting a mystical agency to be operating like the regular 9-to-5 annoying jobs. To make it worse, she even asks him for feedback. Raven then tells Ren that he still has to take care of Lily because she merely suppressed her wolf side, but it would definitely resurface, and he needs to be ready for it. She mentions that it would likely happen on the next full moon, and she decides to check when the next full moon will come into place. Surprisingly, the next full moon is the next day, and Raven wastes no time dodging her responsibility, telling Ren that it is up to him to know how he is going to manage the situation because she is going to be busy. Ren tries to complain, but Raven reminds him that she has been managing the tenants for weeks, and he should be able to get the job done. Later on, Vivian enters the kitchen to cook a special potion for Lily because of the upcoming full moon. The potion smells so badly that Ren is forced to ask if she is making it for Shrek. A tiny bit of it drops from the pot, and it burns the ground like acid. Ren sees this and assumes that Vivian is cooking up poison, not a potion. That night, Ren and his tenants head into the mountains to spend the night in preparation for the full moon. While everyone is playing a game or two, Lily is busy munching on food like a camel. Vivian tells her to eat quickly and transform, but Lily replies that she doesn't feel like transforming. Vivian wants her to transform quickly so that they can get things done and forget about it. Apparently, they are all tired from having exhausted themselves trying to take care of the big dog. Momentarily, they sleep off, and they later wake up to Lily's howl outside the camp. By the time they step out, Lily is already undergoing a transformation, and Vivian tells Ren to be careful because Lily is not currently in the right state of mind. Zach then puts together a barrier spell and urges them to step into it. Just as expected, Lily goes wild and she comes at them, but Zach's protection spell helps keep her away. After a rush of wind, she finally transforms, but to their surprise, she transforms into a giant Siberian husky, not a wolf like they were expecting. Just then, Ren starts walking toward her, and Vivian urges him to be careful because Lily might hurt him. Surprisingly, Lily doesn't attack, and the others heave a sigh of relief. Vivian tries to help by feeding Lily the pills that she prepared to calm her down. However, this only makes things worse, and Lily loses control. Vivian realizes that she actually missed the formula of the potion. As Lily runs toward the town, the group chases after her, and Ren comes up with a plan to try and stop her. He tells Zach to try and subdue her with his strength, but this backfires immediately. Vivian manages to stop Lily with her bats, and Ren becomes a motivational speaker, trying to get Lily to her senses. This also backfires, but just as Ren is about to regret his stupidity, they hear a sweet voice coming from behind, and this turns out to be Wayu's voice. Using her voice and power, she is able to get Lily to calm down, and Ren pets her to sleep. Just then, Lily transforms back to her human form, but Vivian quickly covers her with her bats. When they return home, Ren is setting Lily on the bed so she can sleep when he is suddenly knocked out from behind by a strange dude in glasses. Soon afterward, Lily wakes up in what appears to be a warehouse. She is surprised because she doesn't remember Ren's house being a dirty warehouse. She tries to leave, but gets knocked back by the barrier spell put on the door. Just then, the two dudes who kidnapped her enter the room, telling her that they are her kin. She is entirely confused, and the two claim that she has been bewitched by the vampire, which is why she needs their help. Lily argues that Ren and the others are kind people, but the two don't care. Lily tries to force her way out, but she is knocked out. The two are about to leave the room when one of Vivian's bats is spotted, telling the dudes that they have been exposed. Meanwhile, Ren finally regains consciousness, and he tells the group that Lily has been kidnapped. Vivian tries to use her bat to get more information, but she is getting blocked. However, Terminal comes in clutch by scanning the properties of the bat that was with Lily, but manages to return to Vivian. Terminal points out everything that it found out, and with this, they were able to deduce that Lily is being held in an industrial estate. Ren forms a team to go after Lily. He tells Wayu and Zach that they are going to pair up while he and Lily will stick together. In preparation for an attack, the two kidnappers have reinforced their hideout to prevent intruders. Momentarily, Lily locates the warehouse with the help of her bats. One of the bats tried to enter the building but was knocked down, Vivian checks out the barrier, and she realizes that it is a powerful magic that she has encountered before. Vivian tells Ren that they need to find an entrance to get into the building. Meanwhile, Zach and Yu have found what appears to be the hideout for the workers. Zach tears open the door to find them playing a game. Yu acts like a cool girl, telling Zach that they should apologize to the innocent dudes. While trying to find a way into the building, Vivian reminds Ren that he might be immune to the barrier magic, just like he was immune in the castle. Basically, his power can nullify magic, and they confirm this when Ren touches one of the particles of the magic, causing it to turn into dust. Lily then lifts Ren up, hoping to take him to the upper floor to access the building. However, they were hit by one of the wolf dudes, Yuan, who had been waiting for them. Yuan claims that Ren and his gang kidnapped Lily when he and his brother are the obvious kidnappers in the scenario. He angrily transforms into his werewolf form to be able to fight the two properly. Yuan shoots his annoying magic at the two, forcing them to run around. Vivian places Ren down in what appears to be a safe place, but it soon graduates from a safe space to the most dangerous place when Yuan charges at them. Vivian then tells Ren that she is going to take care of Yuan, while Ren tries to look for Lily. However, Yuan is a stubborn dude, and he wouldn't let them go. Vivian flies Ren to the top of a tower, and while they are busy battling it out with Yuan, Zach, and Yu are playing games with the basement dudes. As the battle progresses, Yuan gets hit by Vivian, and the type of power that she uses lets him know that Vivian is the dangerous vampire known as the Countess of Crimson Moon. After struggling for minutes, Ren finally gained access to the building. However, Yuan's brother appears behind him and almost decapitates him. Thanks to his shield, he survives. Ren starts running around, but Terminal screams at him to stop the Tom and Jerry chase and face the werewolf that is trying to end him. Ren argues that he can't fight a superhuman, but Terminal reminds him that he has undergone the enhancement procedure, which means he has the same strength as superhumans. Even after hearing this, Ren still doesn't think he can face the werewolf. The werewolf grabs him and throws him off like a rubber ball, but he survives as usual. Ren decides to hide, but Terminal reminds him that he can't because he is dealing with a creature with an acute sense of smell. Just like Terminal warned, the wolf finds him again. Ren barely escapes death, but later uses his wits to turn on the water sprinkler to get rid of his scent. Ren makes his way into the vents to escape the wolf, and minutes later he finds Lily, who is already hungry. She gets super excited when Ren tells her that it is time they go back home. However, the wolf blocks their path again. Just then, Yuan gets thrown into the building by Vivian, and Yuan warns his brother not to try and fight Vivian because she is the Countess of the Crimson Moon. Just as things are about to take a more drastic turn, Ren urges everyone to calm down. He explains things to the wolves, and after realizing that Ren is a good guy, the wolves back down. They are all about to have a happy ending when demon hunters arrive in the building to surround them. The hunters waste no time firing their weapons at the group, but Ren protects everyone using his shield. Ren then tells them to make a run for it, and while they are running away, Ren draws their attention with his shield, giving Vivian and Lily a chance to escape the building. Ren then blinds the demon hunters with Terminal's bright light so he and the two wolves can escape too. However, the demon hunters are not about to let them escape, and they chase them down. Ren and the wolves reach a safe distance and believe that they are good to go, but the demon hunters show up like persistent mosquitoes. Ren soon finds himself going up against a red demon hunter, who is amazed by his powers. She doesn't want to believe that Ren is just a mere human, since humans are not supposed to have such amazing powers. As the battle becomes more and more intense, Ren gets more accustomed to running around like a real superhuman. Ren puts the demon hunter girl on the run, chasing her till he knocks her out. Ren finally leaves her when he realizes that he might have to help the rest of the team. Yuan and his brother fight brilliantly, but they end up getting subdued by the demon hunters. Yuan gets punctured with a silver blade, and he starts to turn into rock. Yuan's brother watches as they are about to send Yuan to the afterlife, but Ren shows up just in time. Lily also joins Ren, and she tells Ren that Yuan's condition is getting critical. However, she assures Ren that she has an idea to help save Yuan's life. She unleashes the new power that comes with her evolution, leaving a windstorm that allows the group to escape the demon hunters. They make it into the woods, and Yu and Zach soon join them too. Yu walks over to Yuan to check on him. She tells the group that she can use her cure magic to help the dude. Yu mentions that it is more or less water magic, but she can use it to save Yuan. Yu swings into action and submerges Yuan into a water sphere to start healing him. Yuan's brother thanks them for the assistance, and he promises to tell them everything that he knows. The dude mentions that they tried to kidnap Lily because of the Siren's prophecy. Apparently, the prophecy mentions that the day of return is coming, and this is a time when all outcasts will regain their strength, and the demon hunters will witness a decline. Because of this, all outcasts start gathering their kind, which is why they wanted to take Lily with them in preparation for the said prophecy. The dude apologizes for not revealing the whole truth before because he believed that Lily was being deceived by Vivian. Minutes later, Yu finishes healing Yuan. But just as they are about to celebrate, they come under attack from the demon hunters again. Zach has the strength to take out the leader in an instant, but he suggests that they have a civil conversation. When the hunter leader refuses to cooperate, Zack shows him his true power, scaring him. The demon hunter leader tries to run off, but Zack grabs him back with his teleportation magic and makes sure to let him know what will happen if he tries to come after them. After taking care of the dude, Yuan and his brother prepare to leave. Lily asks them about the prophecy, and they mention that they heard from a siren who came ashore. Momentarily, the werewolves take their leave, but the red-headed demon hunter suddenly shows up and points a knife at Wayu's neck, while demanding that they allow her boss to leave. They find themselves in a bit of a bind, and while they are trying to resolve the issue, Nangong shows up out of nowhere, telling the redhead that he needs to take Wayu away. Nangong winks at Ren to make sure he knows that he is on his side. Nangong gets the redhead to let Wayu go, and in return, they release her boss. However, the redhead and her boss fall into a prepared trap the moment they step into the woods. Their scream echoes around like that of a drum after they are hit. It turns out that Wayu and Nangong know each other, but Wayu thanks him for saving her life by kicking his gullible soul into the woods. In a surprising turn of events, Wayu is Nangong's sister that he was talking about. This revelation sends the entire team into a state of total confusion, since they never expected it. When the team returns home, Wayu and Nangong continue their usual sibling rivalry. Wayu talks about how annoying her brother is, and the fact that he was always following her around under the guise that he was protecting her. Vivian then explains that there are only female sirens, which is why Nangong is not a siren. Basically, their father was a demon hunter while their mother was a siren. Vivian asks the siblings where their parents are, and the two reveal that they suddenly disappeared into thin air one day. While the whole family is discussing and having fun, Lily learns that she turned into a husky, not a wolf, during her evolution period, and she starts sobbing. Lily then offers to check her blood, and she sinks her teeth into her neck. After checking it, she lets her know that she doesn't have anything related to being a wolf, but this gets Lily furious that she sucked her blood for fun. The two resume their usual love and hate fight, while everyone just stares at them. Moments later, Yuan and his brother show up at the door. A fight breaks out between them and Nangong, but Zack settles it with brute force just like he always does. Once they all calm down, Ren explains to them that Nangong is a trusted friend, who is just a part-time demon hunter, and a trash one at it. Just then, Yuan's brother whips out a gold bar, and Vivian immediately loses all of her senses, since she doesn't joke with money. Suddenly, the light goes off, and Ren brings out Terminal to resume its job as a part-time flashlight. They start investigating, and in the end, they realize that they are not under attack. It turns out that they lost power because they didn't pay their electricity bill. They all start talking about how much money they have, but they are just a group of broke degenerates. Ren is tired of thinking about what to do, and he just retreats into his room to sleep. After he is gone, Lily tells her colleagues that it is their duty to help Ren pay whatever bills need paying. The following morning, Ren wakes up to an empty house. Meanwhile, Lily has started working in a puppy shop, but things are not going too well for her. The same thing can be said for the rest of the group, who are trying to get money for their landlord. Ren then heads over to Raven's office to borrow money, and Raven promises to lend him because he has been a good boy. Ren then asks her if there is any connection between the dream space and the outcasts, and she reveals that most of them come from the dream space. Later on, the tenants decide to go on a treasure hunt since their attempt to work a job blew back badly. Ren continues asking Raven silly questions just so he can know if there is a way to resolve the conflict between outcasts and demon hunters. Ren mentions that he is basically worried about the safety of his tenants. After a gruesome day, Ren finally returns home, and he is shocked to see that there is light inside the house. The tenants welcome him with a warm heart and mention that they all worked hard to earn money to pay for the bill. The group sits at the table to enjoy their meal, and the werewolves watching from outside realize that they are one big happy family. Yuan and his brother decide to retreat, and Ren later finds out that Nangong has left for work too, but he will be back if he ever needs his help. Ren mentions his plan to enter the dream dimension, and the whole group assures him that they are going to come with him. Later on, Ren notices that the mermaid egg is missing, and unknown to them, gullible Lily is busy cooking it in the kitchen. Thanks for watching till the end and comment cooked egg to confuse the losers who didn't get to the end.